News 13 has learned a man killed by APD last night may have been holding a hammer. It started last night when police were called to the 7-Eleven at Central and University, where a man with a hammer assaulted another man.
But police say the suspect took off. Officers caught up with the man hiding in a nearby alley. APD says officers tried to talk to the man, but he charged at them with a weapon and was shot. APD still hasn't confirmed the suspect's identity, how many shots were fired, or what weapon the suspect was holding. This latest shooting marks the fifth officer-involved APD shooting, since late October.
And now top city officials are taking notice. News 13's Chris McKee is live at APD headquarters with more.
Dean, we spoke with the city's chief administrative officer, Rob Perry, today about the shootings. He says there are a lot of things to consider.
Unfortunately, this is a situation that nationally tends to be on the rise.
The city's chief administrative officer reacting to the latest spree of police shootings in less than 2 months.
He fires from the vehicle.
From one crime scene to the next.
The officer perceived a threat.
Albuquerque intersections covered with crime tape.
And an officer discharged his firearm.
The latest was last night when police say a man charged officers with a weapon in an alley near Central and University and was killed.
The pops, man, those were loud.
APD officers have been involved in 5 shootings since late October, something city leaders are taking note of.
We're always sensitive to police-involved shootings and the numbers of them.
October 26th was the first when Christopher Chase intentionally shot at officers and was killed after crashing at a gas station. 2 days later, Joaquin Ortega was shot near Central in Washington after police say he crashed a car, tried to rob a woman, then steal a car with a gun. Then there was Robert Garcia, shot near Montgomery in Washington in mid-November after police say he pointed a fake gun at an officer while carrying a suicide note. And finally, there's Shane Sherrill, who was shot after officers responded to a domestic dispute call and saw him point a brake pad in the air that they thought was a gun.
I think it's important to look at each individual incident.
Representing Mayor Richard Barry's office, Perry says there are other factors that force police to shoot.
It's probably not fair to the community, not fair to the police department, and maybe not fair to the individual to have folks with these type of hardened criminal records out in the streets.
He says it's not just the idea of police causing problems.
Contributing factors from the criminal justice system to mental health.
Now, despite the recent rash of officer-involved shootings, Perry says the city is actually on an average track. Albuquerque typically averages about 8 officer-involved shootings every year. Dean, back to you.
All right, Chris, thank you. The Department of Justice launched an investigation last year into APD's use of force. It's a move that came after there were 25 officer-involved shootings in Albuquerque in less than a 3-year period starting in 2010. 17 of those were deadly.
We could